Hey everyone, this is Michael, aka Epsilon Minus on MTGO, and I am re-recording this deck tech. Apparently the first one didn't upload with sound. Thanks to Farf for pointing that out for me. So this is a deck I played a couple weeks ago. It is basically a four-color fish deck built around the human tribal core of Noble Hierarch, Dark Confidant, Talia, and Mayor of Avabrook, along with Deathrite Shaman and several creatures that sacrifice or otherwise go to the graveyard in order to fuel a card called Oath of Ghouls, which was part of the Tempest cycle, the most famous one being Oath of Druids. And basically this card says whichever player has more creatures in his graveyard gets to bring one back to his hand. So I'm going to start with the mana base. We've got 7 Rainbow Lands, 4 Cavernous Souls, and 3 City of Brass. We've got our Waste Strip package. We're running 4 Fetch Lands, and we're running 5 Duels. Basically, one in each color combination in our deck. And I'm also running 4 Lotus Petals for acceleration. I chose those over Spirit Guides just because the mana base is kind of greedy and the color requirements are kind of greedy, so having something that can pop for any color is pretty nice, even though there's a little bit of non-synergy with Talia. Our creature core is we've got 4 Noble Hierarchs, 4 Talias, 4 Dark Confidants, 3 Mayor of Avabrook. I assume most people probably know the first 3, but Mayor of Avabrook, basically he pumps your guys, and also if no spells are cast, he turns into a creature called Halpak Alpha, which basically is a token generator, and he's mainly useful. I mean, pumping your guys obviously is good, but against workshops, they usually can't cast a bunch of spells each turn, so you can basically start generating an army of tokens against them. As far as our non-human cards, we have 3 Pride Mages for the Shop and Oath matchup. We've got 2 Sting Scourgers to fight against Tinker and Oath. We've got an Ingot Chewer against Shops. And then we've got Deathrite Shaman for mana ramp and general utility combining with our Oath of Ghouls. And then our removal suite is 4 Abrupt Decays and 3 Swords to Plowshares. Swords being run over Lightning Bolt in order to avoid sending their creatures to the yard. And then for my 4 drops, I've got Exava Rakdos Blood Witch is just kind of a quick clock and also good at dealing with Jace. And Huntmaster of the Fells, I replaced the 4th Mayor with him. He's really good in the aggro matchup because he can gain you life, create tokens, burn out their creatures, etc. He's another transformed creature. In our sideboard, we've got 3 cages for Oath and Dredge, Extirpate for Dredge, Rest in Peace for Dredge. Then I've got a Ray of Revelation to bring against Oath decks. I've got 2 Grudges and an extra Chewer against Shop. I've got another Wispmare to bring in against Oath, and these 2 also combine with Oath of Ghouls in theory. And then finally I've got 3 Kataki War's Wage, which I brought in for the affinity matchup mostly. As far as this deck's performance, I was a little bit disappointed with Oath of Ghouls. I tried it, it didn't work too well, but it was having success in Vintage, so I gave it another try. And I think the reason why it works in Vintage but doesn't work so much in Classic is mainly because Vintage has a lot more kind of grindy mid-range decks like Bomberman and Landstill, where you in kind of traditional shops decks where you can kind of grind out an incremental advantage. Whereas in Classic, in some ways it's a little bit slower because you don't have Moxen, but the decks are just so linear that I feel like it's over very quickly. Like Oathy that has their thing out real quick. With stacks you can just get locked out, and then Affinity and Dredge just, belch creatures onto the field. So you don't really have time to play a 2 mana enchantment, and gain that kind of incremental advantage from your creatures. So it ended up not being that great for me, but I'm glad I gave it a try. Hope you enjoyed this deck tech. Sorry about the technical difficulties with the first one. Thanks for watching.